What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well, and I hope you're ready to hang out with me today, cozy up, and try out some new makeup. I have one of the new Hermes Eyeshadow Palettes in the blue color story. I also have a new foundation from Peau. I have some stuff from Hourglass, Beckham Beauty, Surratt. I have a lot of goodies that I picked up over the past couple of weeks in the Black Friday sale, so if you want to hang out with me today while I try out some of this new makeup, then keep watching. All right, party people, let's get into this. I gotta get ready for work. It is a very gloomy, rainy day here in Boston. I do have some of my lights on today because we just don't have quite enough natural light in these very, very short days of the year, but that's okay. New makeup always cheers me up, and I'm gonna go in first, guys, with the hydrating primer. This is the new one from the Chanel Les Beiges collection that I just reviewed for you a couple of days ago. But if you missed the review, this is basically just a really nice hydrating primer. It has kind of like this gel-like serum consistency. It gives this really nice kind of slight coppery tint and glow. And I do really like the moisture that this gives me. This is the shade Light Copper, and there are 3 different shades that they have in the collection for this season, and it is also limited edition. So if you are intrigued, I will link that review down below for you guys. So I'm just gonna get a nice little layer on the face. Actually, you can kind of see the difference between this side. See how it's like nice and hydrated and glowy? And then this side, you know, this is like a little bit duller. It's not slimy or oily or anything like that. It sets down, but you can really see kind of like that plumpness that it gives the skin. Oh, by the way, I have been getting a lot of questions about how does the new Chanel primer compare up against the Hermes Supernatural Radiance Serum. So I thought I would show you guys real quick in this little try on video. So this is the one from Chanel. Obviously they are different shades, but I think you'll get the picture here, guys. See how this is very sheer and more serumy and spreadable. It's more of like that dewy hydrating type of formula. The RMS is much more pigmented and opaque. So if you want something that's gonna be very noticeably glowy, if you want something that's going to have more pigmentation that you can kind of like mix into your foundations as well, I would go for the RMS. If you just want a really nice basic hydrating primer, then I would go for the Chanel. By the way, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Sophia and I love luxury beauty. I upload new videos just like this one every single week. I do a lot of new makeup reviews, fun and helpful guides, favorites videos, you name it. So if you love luxury beauty, hit that subscribe button to join our fam because we would love to have you. And as a reminder, friends, I will be linking all the products that I mentioned in the description box down below. When you click on my links, I do earn a small commission that goes back to supporting my channel. Full disclaimer. And with that, friends, let's get back to the rest of this Get Ready With Me. If you follow me here on my channel, then you will know that I am on a mission to try every single Peau foundation in their range. And so I wanted to pick up another one during the Black Friday sales because you guys know they're pretty expensive. So I decided to get this one. This is the Peau Radiant Fluid Foundation in the natural finish. It is broad spectrum SPF 25. So I've been testing this out for maybe about 2 weeks now. And I want to show you what this looks like on the face. I still don't know if I like this better than the other ones that I've tried, but eventually, guys, I will do some sort of dedicated review or ranking video, kind of like a foundation guide for Peau. This is a little bit more, I think, luminous and perfecting compared to the Radiant Cream Foundation, which is like my all-time holy grail. That one is a little bit more kind of effortless because it comes in a squeezy tube. It doesn't come in this like, you know, fancy glass packaging, which maybe the squeezy tube is a downside for you, but for me, it's really easy to kind of travel with, apply it with my fingers. This one's a little bit more, you know, fancy, glowy. You can apply it in layers to get your desired coverage. The Radiant Cream Foundation strikes me as something that's like a little bit more moisturizing, more everyday. I kind of treat it a little bit more like I would a skin tint, even though it has way more coverage than a skin tint. It's more of like a medium coverage. So let me get this on half of my face. You guys can see without and then with. That is basically, yeah, that was almost one pump. I still have a little bit more on my hand there. You can see just how radiant that actually is, and it looks a little bit kind of fresh and dewy right now, but it does set down after a couple of minutes, and you certainly can powder it as well. So this is what the foundation looks like. I know I look super pale, but it does it does match my skin. We're gonna bronze this up in just a second. But yeah, I think it has an absolutely beautiful finish, and it is fragrance, guys, just so you know. It's like a lot of other luxury foundations out there. It has a pretty strong scent, but then it kind of like dissipates after a couple of minutes. I just realized, friends, that I meant to use the new foundation brush that I got from IT Cosmetics. This is the brush that they do every single year for Ulta. It is called Love is the Foundation Brush. I don't know if you can tell, but it is supposed to be heart-shaped. Whether it's heart-shaped or not, this is one of the best foundation brushes ever, and they come out with a new version every single year. I was actually using the one from, I think this one was from 2 years ago. The handle is a different design, but the brush is pretty much almost exactly the same, except this one is flat and this one is round. They both work pretty much the same, guys, but these are my favorite foundation brushes. I always get questions about them. So unfortunately, I did forget to use the new one. I have been using it. It is really good. And I got this for 50% off. So if I can still find it, you know, whether it's 50% off or full price, I would totally buy it. So I'll link it in the description box. And actually, IT Cosmetics has some other ones that are pretty similar as well in the main line. And so I'll link those down below as well. I don't have a new concealer to try, so I just popped on a little bit of the Armani Power Fabric Matte Concealer. This is the reformulated one they came out with earlier this year. I really like this one, and I like it with the Clay to Peau foundation because it's very glowy, has a similar type of finish, maybe slightly more matte than the foundation. So I just popped a little bit on my under eyes, very perfected, because I want to move on to the new Hourglass palette that I picked up. Guys, I finally just got the third holiday palette that I hadn't gotten back when basically these first launched. This is the Jaguar palette. I keep calling it the Jaguar palette for some reason. It's the Leopard palette. Leopard. It doesn't say it on the back of my palette, so I keep forgetting. So sorry about that. It is the Leopard palette. It is in the snake packaging, so don't let that confuse you guys. This is the Jaguar palette, or Color Story number 2, as Hourglass called it on the site. And I really wanted this one because after, you guys know, after I did that review, I did call out the fact that this one probably is the best for my skin tone. It has a lot of repeat shades in it, so that's why a lot of people skipped it. But the reality is that this one has my favorite finishing powder, Dim Light. It has one of my favorite blushes, Mood Exposure. The bronzer looks really good, and then you also get 2 more blushes and a beautiful gold highlighter. So I'm going to be using the finishing powder, the bronzer, and the highlighter, and then I'm going to be using something different for the blush. Actually, I think I'm going to go into Dim Light and just do a slight little dusting in the T-zone. The Jellyfish palette is really beautiful as well. That's been one of my favorites for this year, and it's a little bit more unique than this one. But I will say I do prefer the Dim Light shade to the finishing powders that are in the Jellyfish palette, because those are a little bit lighter, and I think I just prefer that this one is neutral. I am going to go into the bronzer right here, and this one is Lustrous Bronze Light. Actually, let's swatch that on the back of my hand. Hopefully that's not going to be too warm, but I think it'll be okay. I think the tone of it is going to be very nice. This is gonna really warm up the face because I feel a little bit pale after going in with such a glowy foundation. That always happens to me if I have like a very illuminating foundation, but then as soon as I pop on a little bit of bronzer, I feel like everything looks nice. I think this is good. I think this is really nice. I think if you are very fair and you want something a little bit more natural, I definitely still would go with the Jellyfish palette. We are going to go back to the Hourglass palette for the highlighter, but for the blush, I want to show you guys some of the things that I picked up from Surratt. I have some products. I also have some other brushes that we're going to be using today. And since that Black Friday haul, I actually went back and ordered a couple more things to try from Surratt. I got their foundation. I got, what did I get? Their bronzer. So I'm testing out all of it so that I can do some sort of brand review for you guys. The other thing that I got, because they were having some sort of like BOGO sale, I think it was, is this palette. So from Surratt, you can buy these empty palettes and then you can choose the shades that you want to put in the palette. You can put blushes, they have a contour, a bronzer, highlighters, they have a bunch of different eyeshadows as well. So I created this very neutral, very basic, simple palette. They don't have a lot of crazy shades. They have a lot of really beautiful, neutral, soft things to choose from, but they don't have like bright pops of color or whatever. So I just created this really soft, neutral palette, and we're going to be going in with the blush today that I put in this palette. I'll link all the shades that I picked out for this in the description box. Maybe you want to recreate it. So far, I've really been liking the formula of everything. It reminds me a lot of Suqqu, like very silky, kind of soft, more subtle, with a little bit of radiance. Very, very nice. So this is the blush that I'm swatching for you guys. Isn't that the prettiest neutral rose you ever saw? And I'm also going to be using the new cheek brush that I picked up from Surratt. This is made with squirrel hair. They're very soft. I have to say, I think the brushes are probably the best thing that I've picked up so far. They're very expensive, so that's why I got them in the sale. I'll show you guys what this looks like. I love a good angled cheek brush. Because this is a little bit smaller as well, I feel like it kind of gave me a little bit more pigmentation there on the cheek. I'd say the only thing that I would like to see more from these blushes is longevity. They do fade a little bit after a couple of hours. If I'm out and about, you know, walking around in the city and stuff, I notice that they kind of fade by the time I come home, and I like to just reapply a little bit. But hey, it's a nice, beautiful, subtle blush. I like the way that it looks, and see how it gives, you know, just like a little bit of glow, a little bit of radiance. You don't really need a highlighter. And actually, let me swatch the highlighter here. It's pretty subtle. It's nothing too crazy, but it goes along with the theme of the products and the brand. It reminds me a lot of the more subtle Hourglass highlighters that they have in some of their palettes. Not the new holiday palettes, but some of the older ones that they have in their collection. That's just like, you know, a kiss of radiance, very lit from within. So that is our beautiful neutral blush. As promised, I'm gonna go back into the highlighter in the Hourglass palette, and this one is called Celestial Strobe Light. Let me do a little swatch right there. Woo! See, that one is a lot brighter than the one in the Surratt palette. I am going to use the little Surratt brush because I feel like we can use this for highlighter as well because it's nice and angled. Ooh, I like it. This would look so pretty on the eyes as well. I'm not going to do that today because we're going to go in with the Hermes palette, but I really like this. If you want something that's going to be lighter, that highlighter that's in the Jellyfish palette, that one is like beautiful and frosty and iridescent, and that goes more with like, you know, fair skin tone, but I like the warmth that this one gives me. Awesome. I quickly did my brows off camera because I want to get into the Hermes eyeshadow palette. This is number 04 Ombre Marinée. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's the blue palette. It's the one with these beautiful blue tones. And I'm also going to be using a couple of the eye brushes that I purchased from Surratt. Real quick, guys, let me show you the swatches of this palette. I took this the other day in natural light. You guys can see you've got the brown, you've got the deeper blue, you have the shimmering champagne. And I also noticed that this brighter blue right here, it's a little bit sheerer than the colors in the other palettes. Not necessarily like in a bad way, it just has kind of, yeah, you guys can see, it's a little bit sheer. So I'm really curious how that is going to look on the eye. I don't really know what I'm going to do yet, but we're just gonna go for it. And I'm gonna start things off with this, what is this? Like a crease brush from Surratt. This is the really interesting one that I picked up. It's like their smoky eye brush. And I think that you can use this both on the lid, but also here in the crease. So at least that's what I've been doing. I'm gonna go in first with the soft brown. This looks like kind of a satin shade. So I'm hoping that this is gonna be a nice little base. I'm still on the fence about this brush, guys. Let me know if I'm using this correctly. I'm putting the little flat side this way, and then I'm just blending it out, but it's so like long and flippy and wispy that I kind of feel like I don't have that much control. So any advice that you all have for me is greatly appreciated. I feel like if I just went in with a regular crease brush, that would be a little bit less patchy. Actually, let me get this one. This is from Sonia G. This is the Crease L from the new Fundamental Eye series. Let's try this. See how quick that one is? It's just a little bit easier for me to use and have more control. Maybe I will go back in with that other brush to do kind of like the outer corner, because it is good at doing very gentle, subtle touches if you're going for like a soft, smoky look. So maybe we'll go back to that one, but you guys can kind of see the tone of this soft brown shade in the Hermes palette. I'm also taking that brown and I'm gonna put a little bit here on the low lower lash line as well. Next, I'm gonna go into the brighter blue shade in the palette. This is the one that I had swatched here on my hand. And because this one is quite creamy, I'm gonna be going in with this brush from Surratt. Technically, this is a complexion brush, and I do really like this one for kind of cleaning up around the brows and also the lip line. But I think that because this is supposed to be for creams and liquids, this is gonna work really well for more of these creamy eyeshadows. It's just not big enough for me to wanna use for my under eyes. Like, it would kind of take forever. So I have some other purposes that I like to use this for. I'm gonna dip into that blue right there, and I'm gonna put that here, trying not to get it too close to the inner corner. Then on the other eye, I do like the fact that these shadows, the shimmer shades, they stick really well. You don't get any fallout from these, at least I don't. Comment down below, let me know if you had this palette. Let me know what kind of looks you've done. Do you enjoy this? Is there another one you like better? Let me know. The brush set that I got from Surratt also came with this smaller shader brush. It's so soft. The brushes are really nice. They are really soft, and I'm gonna go into the brighter shade in the palette. This does a pretty good job of picking it up. Tap it off just in case, because this is the most sparkly one. Oh, this is I did not think it was gonna be that shimmery, but I really, really like it. We'll tone it down a little bit. We're gonna blend everything together, but I think that looks so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit here in the inner corner. I don't wanna take it too far on the lower lash line because it's just, you know, a little bit shimmery. Oh my gosh, look how that kind of opened up the eye and mixed with the blue. Now I'm gonna go back into the soft brown shade, and I'm gonna start to kind of mix all of these shades together. So I actually wanna put a little bit more brown here on the lower lash line. And I'm also gonna go back into our little candlestick brush, take a little bit of that and kind of mix those shades a little bit more into the crease so it looks a little bit more seamless. That's what I think this brush maybe works a little bit better for, is this type of blending purpose. But once again, if you have any suggestions, let me know. Now I'm gonna go into the deepest shade in the palette, this matte indigo. That's what I'm gonna be calling it. And I'm gonna use that little wispy brush once again. Start to add some little touches here to the outer corner. See what I mean? It's kind of good for just putting a little something subtle there, right where you need it, and then wispily blending it out. But it's not the most precise brush I've ever tried. It's definitely one of the most interesting brushes that I've tried. It's very unique. Maybe this is why they call it the smoky eye brush, because it gives you this really diffuse smoky look, and because it's pointy, you can easily just kind of like drag it around the eye and shape it. If you have hooded eyes, I also think like it's easy to kind of do that straight line technique where you bring the shadow out a little bit more. That's always good to kind of open up the eye. I actually wanted to show you on the other eye how you can do this a little bit more precisely with a little bit more control with the new Hourglass E2 brush. This is a part of the new sets that he came out with. And this one, I'm sorry it's dirty. I had this in my everyday makeup kit, but it has that pointy tip just like the one from Surratt, but it's not so wispy. So you get a little bit more control. So I'm just going in with this one just to kind of give you guys another option. Maybe you already got this one from Hourglass. I think this one works really, really well for this particular purpose. Before I do the eyeliner, I'm gonna go in with the dim light from the Hourglass palette. I'm just gonna blend all around, especially with these colorful looks or something that's more smoky. I just want it to be a little bit more crisp because I don't want it to look too messy, because when it looks messy, then it kind of makes the eyes look heavy. So I'm just gonna blend around and get that perfect. This actually came out a lot more sort of navy, like a deep ocean blue than I thought it was gonna be. I thought maybe it was gonna be a little bit brighter. I really like it. It's very sophisticated. Maybe that's why it's called marines or marines, because it's like those beautiful tones of the sea, of the marine life. I actually love this. I'm obsessed with this. I'm not very much like a blue eyeshadow palette type of person, not for every day, but this is probably one of the nicest blue palettes I have in my collection. Okay, so I told you guys I had a couple of goodies from Beckham Beauty, and I'm excited to show you guys the new Satin Kajal eyeliner in the shade Cinnamon. This sold out and I wasn't able to get it, and then it came back in stock and she was having 20% off, so I placed an order for this one. I think this one, guys, is probably my second favorite one. I really like the bronze shade. This one is beautiful, neutral, and subtle, just like bronze, except it's more of like neutral to warm toned, not as warm as the copper shade. That one is, it's pretty coppery. This one is like the perfect shimmery brown, perfect in between. So I thought it would look good with this look. We shall see. I did use it the other day with that Surratt palette that I showed you guys. Oh my gosh, it looked so beautiful. It was such like a soft, romantic, like candlelit, neutral type of look that I did for a lunch with my friend, like a cozy holiday lunch. It was so fun. So here you guys can see this beautiful brown. It definitely shows up. I love the softness that I get from this. You could do a black eyeliner with this look and it would be more smoky, a little bit more evening, but I think that the soft brown is really, really nice for a daytime look and to make it, like I said, just like a little bit softer. I'm taking the smudgy and I'm just kind of softening that line. What do you guys think? Did you pick up the cinnamon shade? This is now a new favorite and this is definitely going in my everyday makeup bag right after I filmed this video. Okay, I'm kind of obsessed with this eyeliner. I really like the way that this look is coming along. I want to show you guys another way that I like to use the Complexionista brush, and that is cleaning up around my eyeliner to get kind of like a crisper, neater line. So I like to go in here with my Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is a little bit more emollient, so it's great for kind of like those touch-ups, finishing touches, that kind of stuff. I use it around my brows, and I'll just use this little brush to get kind of like that nice clean line right there. So that's gonna help lift the eyes, gonna help keep things open. It's gonna make it look super neat and professional. And these eyeliners from Victoria Beckham Beauty, they are pretty smudgy. And hey, sometimes I smudge it out a little bit too much and then I have to fix it, and it's just the whole thing. So I like to do this because it just makes it a little bit easier to clean up and I don't have to go back in and like sharpen my eyeliner a million times. This brush is actually very similar to this Laura Mercier brush that I have had since high school. I kid you not. Okay, I wash it, obviously. It's falling apart a little bit, like right here at the ferrule, but other than that, the bristles are totally fine. This reminds me of that brush, except a smaller version, and I've been trying to find something like this for ages, and I feel like I have finally found, not necessarily a replacement, because nothing can replace my Laura Mercier high school brush, but something that, you know, once that one falls apart, it's gonna serve the same purpose. One of the other things that I picked up from Victoria Beckham Beauty that I didn't get a chance to try when it first launched is her new mascara. This is the Vast Lash mascara, and unlike the Future Lash one, this is supposed to be a little bit more volumizing. First up, the packaging is so good. It's even better than the other mascara. It's like beautiful and ivory and sleek, and it's heavy and nice. I love it so much. Let me show you the brush. I did use this, was it yesterday? I've tried it once and it has really good longevity, just like the Future Lash mascara. But as you can see, the brush is a lot bushier and it also has a little bit of a curve to it. It's a little bit bushier than I typically go for. I like something more like her other mascara, but the formula is actually really nice, at least from the one time that I tried it. It's buildable and, you know, I really just like the longevity of it. If it lasts a long time and it's not clumpy, then it is a winner in my book. And if it doesn't irritate my eyes, obviously. Okay, so this eye has 2 coats and then this eye obviously has none. So you guys can see it gives a lot of nice volume, some nice separation. There's no clumps. And I had very, very good longevity. I even ran on the treadmill for like 30, 40 minutes yesterday. So far, I really like the mascara. I'll keep you guys updated, but that's what I've experienced so far. Comment down below if you guys have given this a try. All right, here's how the makeup is looking, friends. I'm gonna take the hair down because we are almost done. We're gonna finish things up with lips, and I have a new favorite I wanna show you all. You would have seen this in my haul video if you watched that video. It is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Plumping Lip Serum, and I got it in a new shade, which is called Mocha Glow. This shade is so good. I've been wearing it so much. A lot of my videos too, and a lot of you guys have been asking me what is on my lips. I always put what is on my lips, by the way, in the description box, so you can always check it there. If I can remember, I try my best to link it in the description box. This is just a delicious, like rich little hint of like a purpley brown. Hopefully it goes with the eyeshadow look. I don't know. I felt like this was natural and sheer enough to go. I also have the shade Bronze Glow. I feel like Bronze Glow is going to be my summertime Mario lippy, and this is going to be more of like my fall and wintertime Mario lippy. It's so glossy and juicy. I really do still like this formula a lot. All right, friends, and this is the final look. Comment down below and let me know what you think. Honestly, I really liked everything. I'm still kind of learning how to use some of the Surratt brushes, but they are very, very good quality, super duper soft. So far, I really like the Clé de Peau foundation. Maybe I'll insert in right here just a quick clip of a wear test so you guys can see what this looks like before the sun goes down, so we could do at least a full 8 hours. I've had some pretty good longevity with this foundation. It doesn't get too dry on my skin. Comment down below if you like this foundation, if you want me to do a full review. I'm totally happy to do that. The blush is beautiful. I really like the Hermes Eyeshadow Palette. I think this came out beautifully, and I think one of the reasons is because it has some really nice contrast with the soft brown and also this beautiful, bright, brilliant kind of frosty white or off-white, I guess I would call it. It is a absolutely gorgeous palette. I have to say, maybe my favorite thing might be the Victoria Beckham eyeliner. The cinnamon shade is so good. That's definitely going to be an everyday thing for me. But yeah, friends, I really liked everything in this video. I guess I had some good buys for Black Friday. And now it is your turn, friends. Sound off in the comments down below. Let me know, what did you think of these products? Did you pick up anything good this holiday season? Is there anything new that you want me to try in the upcoming weeks on my channel? If you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. I would very much appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.